Your top stories this evening sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister Anil Nanlal is of the view that it is in Guyana's interest to stop the enforcement of an arbitral award in favor of U.S. company ConocoPhillips. Natural Resource Minister to announce 6 companies who will receive licenses for bids submitted for oil blocks within the country's shallow and deep water areas. Court of Appeal upholds man's rape convictions and life sentences, but time reduced for parole eligibility. And the state, during last week's 85th sitting of the National Assembly, tabled an open data bill that seeks to make information from public agencies widely available. HGP TV Nightly News begins now. To our viewers here in Guyana and online, I'm Paul Moore with the Thursday, August 15, 2024 edition of the HGP Nightly News. At this hour, we will tell you that Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nanlal is of the view that it is in Guyana's interest to stop the enforcement of an arbitral award in favor of U.S. company ConocoPhillips. Find out more in this Tiana Cole's report.
ConocoPhillips in 2019 obtained an arbitral award against the Venezuelan government, valuing a large sum of money. This decision followed a move by the Bolivarian Republic to nationalize assets belonging to the U.S. company. The company sought and acquired a favorable judgment through the Guyana High Court, a ruling to register the arbitrary award, which claims monies owed to Venezuela and its state-owned oil company PDVSA. Since the nation's interest is at risk, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nanlal, during his weekly program Issues in the News, made it clear that he is steadfast in his belief that a local court's decision is not in line with national policy.
Is it not contrary to the public policy of Guyana, having regard to its national security, having regard to its national sovereignty, having regard to everything that I have said? Is it not against the national policy of our country to permit the registration and enforcement of that award against Venezuela's debt in Guyana?
The Attorney General argued that enforcing the arbitral award would contradict Guyana's public policy, given the ongoing border controversy with Venezuela.
How do you think the Venezuelan government will view a court in Guyana permitting an American company to take away money that Guyana owes to Venezuela?
Nanlal stressed that the executive determines the national policy of the country and not the judiciary. He added that once the executive determines that something is against the national policy and it is before the court, the executive needs to report that to the judiciary, and the court ought to accept and to decline jurisdiction.
You can't have a judiciary moving in one direction and a legislature going in another direction. The judiciary can't be a standalone. These are not matters for the judiciary.
The Attorney General said national interest matters are for the executive, and the people who must make that decision have already done so at the level of Parliament. Reports are that the Ghana government escrow account for the payment of Venezuela as a deposit of $32 million under the Petro-Caribbean Agreement. Tiana reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Mineral agreement between the state and Reunion Gold Corporation inked in April this year, and Canadian company joined forces with a Brazilian company for operations in the Cuyuni mining district. Work projected to start in 2027. Antonio Day reports.
Reunion Gold is also partner with G2 mining out of Brazil. So those two companies will be developing that mine. Only recently, His Excellency President Ali met with both companies to ensure that we have a commitment, a full commitment from those companies, that there will be a startup in sometime 2027, meaning production of forest gold.
This was Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Bharat, on Wednesday during a press briefing held at the Forestry Commission's complex in Kingston, Georgetown. The Inc. agreement between the state and Reunion Gold was aimed to establish quote-unquote stable fiscal and operating conditions for the Oko West Gold Project in the Cayuni Mining District.
That mine by itself will produce over 200,000 ounces annually to add to our production.
Reunion Gold Inc., with the development of an open pit and underground gold mine, is hoping to produce approximately 5 million ounces of gold over a 14 to 16 year period and would be processing an estimated 65 to 70 million tons of ore. The subject minister said that the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, GGMC, is still working with small and medium-scale miners to increase production in the mining consortium.
Still working with the small and medium-scale miners to increase their production. The AGM or Zijing Mining Company, they are venturing into underground mining, as you know, so their production will increase significantly as well. And then in 2027, we will have this forest other large-scale gold company producing.
Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Antonio. The Guyana National Road Safety Council launched in Region 7. Vote held to elect Executive Board. Sean King is new chairman. More in this from Dacia Richards.
The commander of Regional Division 7 and other senior officers on Wednesday launched the National Road Safety Council, NRC, at the Region Town Council Boardroom, Bartica, where elections were held for the executive board and committee members. Virtually attending the launch was Ramona Durgan, the NRC coordinator, Earl Lambert, the NRC chairman, and acting traffic chief superintendent S. Daniels, who participated in the election for committee members and officer bearers. The election, which was conducted by Ramona Durgan as the returning officer, saw 6 persons elected for executive posts and 8 elected as committee members. The mayor of Region 7, Mr. Anthony Murray, who also attended the gathering, made general remarks emphasizing that the main goal of the council is to promote road safety throughout the region, which is a mission that can only be achieved by working together. Sean King, the newly elected chairman of the NRC Region 7, said in his brief remarks that he intends to work with the traffic department to develop a road safety program. This is an integral part of the journey for the NRC as chairman of the Region 7 board, and he will follow in the footsteps of Earl Lambert, chairman of the Guyana National Road Safety Council, who has always made recommendations for the rolling out of road safety campaigns in all 10 administrative regions. For HGP Nightly News, I am Dacia Richards.
Thanks, Dacia. Stay with us for more news after this break.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc., powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
Say goodbye to germs with a free Sterling Super Soap automatic dispenser. That's right, get free equipment and installation of our touch-free dispenser. The perfect amount of soap every time ensures clean and germ-free hands. Refilling is quick and easy with 4 amazing fragrances: coconut, sunflower sunrise, pink blossom, and citrus zest. Call us on 265-7403.
Thanks for staying with the HGP TV Nightly News. 2023 PSA now finalized the 6 companies to be issued licenses. Natural Resource Minister says. Antonio Day reports.
Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Barrett during a media conference on Wednesday at the Guyana Forestry Commission Complex, Kingston, Georgetown.
We had to work with the bidders, some of them, especially the locals, who are looking for international partners. They were looking for investors, they were looking for operators. A few were ready, but we can't do a PSA for a separate PSA for every different company. We had to finalize one PSA that can be used for all the companies. That PSA has been finalized, I'm happy to say that, with no changes to the fiscal terms.
The licenses, once issued, will officially allow these companies to begin their exploration and production activities, Minister Barrett told reporters. He underscored that the fiscal terms in the 2023 Production Sharing Agreement, known as the PSA, caters for 10% royalty, 10% tax, 65% cost recovery, as against 75%, and a 50-50 profit share. The minister also acknowledged that the government proceeded with the bid round despite having limited data on the oil blocks. Having experienced some major setbacks during the bidding process, Barrett said that he's grateful that the state was able to make several adjustments to the PSA without affecting its fiscal terms.
Today I'm happy to say that every single one of those 6 companies is 6 companies, 8 blocks, because 2 companies have bid for 2. Every one of those 6 companies have submitted their applications to us. We have given them the PSA. They're currently reviewing that with the intent to sign, and all of them have indicated that they're ready to pay their signing bonus.
He reminded the press that the signing bonus for the shallow water is $10 million and the deep water is $20 million. Antonio D reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Court of Appeal on Wednesday in a unanimous ruling upheld the man's rape convictions and life sentences. Parole eligibility reduced from 35 to 20 years. Find out more from Tiano Cole.
In 2017, a judge found Michael Abrams guilty of raping a 6-year-old girl, and Justice Simon Morris Ramlal of the Demerara High Court sentenced him to life in prison. The first count of rape for which Abrams was convicted occurred at some time between January 1 and 18, 2016. The second incident stated that he raped the child again on January 19, 2016. The jury's verdicts on both charges were unanimous on both counts, and he received life sentences to be served concurrently. In addition, the trial judge mandated that he spend a minimum of 35 years in prison before being eligible for parole. Dissatisfied with the jury's decisions, Abrams, through his lawyer, Glenn Anneman, contested his convictions and jail sentence, asking for them to be set aside. As for the evidence itself, he contended that the judge, quote-unquote, wrongfully admitted fresh inadmissible hearsay that was extraneous and highly prejudicial to him, and that it negatively reflected in his character. Contrary to what Abrams claimed, the appellate court determined that his conviction was not unsafe nor unfair, and that his sentence was appropriate given the circumstances of his case. The appellate court consequently affirmed his convictions and sentences. Nonetheless, the Court of Appeal allowed his appeal on the sentence, but reduced his parole eligibility from 35 to 20 years. Additionally, the rapist received full credit for time already completed. According to reports, Abrams inserted his finger into the 6-year-old girl's vagina. The child then confided in her teacher, and Abrams was arrested and charged. Tiana reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
President Ali on Wednesday promised to increase investments in agriculture for farmers of Monkey Mountain impacted by climate change. Here is Dacia Richards.
President Irfan Ali on Wednesday in a visit to Monkey Mountain in North Pakaraima promised the residents to increase investment in agriculture in the local environment due to difficulties experienced by farmers as a result of climate change.
There is tremendous opportunity to build prosperity. There is tremendous opportunity for us to invest in agriculture. But I know that the challenges you face are different. For example, in the dry season, you lost most of your crops.
President Ali added that as such, the government will invest in climate-smart agriculture to help the region flourish with the help of the young people in the village.
Where we involve the young people and we invest in short cycle crops that will bring greater revenue to the community and also to the region.
Adding that, like in Maria's shade house concept can be developed to assist with crop production, while the government will assist the residents in transporting the produce.
Assist you in getting those crops to the market so that we can create wealth, so that we can create added revenue in the community.
He highlighted that upon harvesting of the produce, the government will also be purchasing the goods from the community. For HGP Nightly News, I am Daisy Richards.
Thanks, Daisy. More news after this break.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1. Give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
To the HGP TV Nightly News. The state, during the 85th sitting of the National Assembly, tabled an open data bill which seeks to make information from public agencies widely available. More from Antonio Day.
This bill is geared to provide the use and administration of public data in order to facilitate transparency, effective governance, and innovation in the use of administration of public data. Under the Explanatory Memorandum Clause 3, which provides for the application of the Act to all public authorities except those expressly identified under this clause, the Minister also has the power to exempt a public authority from the application of the Act by order. The exceptions already identified in the bill are the President and commissions of inquiry issued by the President, or information obtained in the course of a probe, examination, or audit conducted by or under the authority of the Auditor General until they are finally concluded. All exempted are the disciplined forces in relation to their strategic or operational activities. Clause 6 imposes an obligation on public authorities to maintain a data register in electronic form of all data assets created, collected, under the control or direction of or maintained by that public authority. Clause 7 imposes an obligation on public authorities to provide the Commissioner of Information with access to the public authority's data register and information relating to its data public assets at the Commissioner of Information's request. The bill was issued under the signature of Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, Prime Minister of Guyana. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thanks, Antonio. Regional news up next.
Exciting news! The capping stack has arrived in Guyana. In the unlikely event of an oil spill, this vital equipment is placed over a blown-out well to stop or redirect the flow of hydrocarbons, ensuring a rapid and effective response. With the capping stack now in hand, Guyana stands out as one of just 2 oil-producing nations in the region with such a crucial safety measure readily available. This marks another significant step towards ensuring that Guyana produces oil and gas safely and sustainably.
Good evening and welcome to Thursday's edition of the Regional News. Authorities investigating the Brazilian plane crash that killed all 62 on board last week now have the full transcript of the black box, but its contents did not immediately explain the cause of the accident. The transcript from the cockpit voice recorder shows the pilot and co-pilot noticed the steep loss of altitude about 1 minute before the crash. According to TV Global, the transcript covers about 2 hours of audio recording, including a question from the co-pilot to the pilot about what was going on and saying that the plane needed quote-unquote more power to be stabilized. TV Global did not release the audio nor the transcript. The plane, an ATR-72 from local airline Vio Pass, was bound for Sao Paulo from Cascavel in the southern state of Paraná and crashed at around 1:30 p.m., some 50 miles northwest of Sao Paulo. The crash killed all on board, but no one on the ground was hurt. Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Wednesday declared a state of emergency in the Caribbean nation southern Clarendon Parish after 8 people were killed in separate gun attacks on Sunday night, including a 7-year-old boy. Quote unquote, "This is an opportunity for the government to mobilize fully to have a very serious focus on gangs," Holness told a press conference at his office. Quote unquote, "We cannot allow murders to be normalized in our country." The Prime Minister did not immediately detail what regulations would be imposed, but these can typically involve nightly curfews, longer detention periods without formal charges, and the ability by police to search properties without warrants. Holness said he hoped that measures would prevent revenge killings, saying intelligence had warned there was a quote-unquote very high probability of retaliation attempts. 5 people have been arrested so far in relation with Sunday's shootings, Holness said. Jamaica last year ranked as the second deadliest country in Latin America and the Caribbean region, according to a study by Insight Crime, with 60.9 homicides per 100,000 people, second only to the small island state of St. Kitts and Nevis. Holness noted that while the number of gangs estimated to be active in the country has shrunk from 400 to 185 in 5 years, the figures remain quote-unquote very high. Floodwaters forced more than 25 businesses to close along Penal Rock Road on Wednesday as intense rainfall triggered intense flooding. Disaster management teams were on the ground yesterday, offering aid to residents. Among the areas worst hit were 5 Mile Mark near Kabir Singh Hindu School, as well as Goodman Trace and Mulchan Trace. Councillor Sarah Sugdio said over 25 businesses and 1,000 households were affected by the flood, with persons being unable to work, and the disaster management teams are on the ground bringing relief to the flood victims after heavy rains caused over 2 feet of water to gather in some parts of Penal Rock Road. Quote unquote, "In some places at the 5 Mile Mark, people have called for assistance. Our team are now out responding to distress calls. The entire main road and side roads are flooded. We are trying to provide as much relief as possible." Thank you for watching. I am Tiana Cole.
Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister Anil Nanlal is of the view that it is in Guyana's interest to stop the enforcement of an arbitral award in favor of U.S. company ConocoPhillips. Natural Resource Minister to announce 6 companies who will receive licenses bids submitted for oil blocks within the country's shallow and deep water areas. Court of Appeal upholds man's rape convictions and life sentences, but time reduced for parole eligibility. And the state, during last week's 85th sitting of the National Assembly, tabled an open data bill that seeks to make information from public agencies widely available. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Paul Moore. Thanks for watching.